To make sure your blending actually gives you the soft results you want, I'm going to go through the do's and don'ts of blending your pencil drawings. The first don't is blending with your fingers. Blending with your hands can actually ruin your drawing because oils from your fingers can transfer onto your drawing paper, which can make your shading look patchy and darker in those areas where the oils are. But there is something you can do if you like the control and the simplicity that blending with your fingers offers. So instead of using your bare fingers, actually wrap some tissue or cloth around your finger before you blend. This will give you a smooth result without getting any uneven and patchy shading while still allowing you to blend with your finger. The next don't is for when you're using a blending stump to smooth out your shading. Don't blend using back and forth motions with a blending stump, as this will create start and stop points when you blend, which will stop you achieving that smooth shading. Instead of using a back and forth motion, blend using individual strokes where you blend from one area to another and then lift up your blending stump off of the paper before returning to that starting position to blend again. And this will avoid getting those start and stop points. Or you can also blend using a continuous circular motion. And this means that you are blending in lots of little circles and will actually give you a really smooth result. Now, both of these methods work great and can be used for blending different things. For example, I prefer blending in strokes when working on hair, and I prefer blending using the circular motion when blending skin. Moving on to the next blending don't. Don't feel like you need to blend everything in your drawing. If you blend everything, your drawing can look too soft and airbrushed and your drawing won't pop, because realism actually consists of both hard and soft edges. And if you blend everything, you are eliminating those hard edges. So if your drawings look a bit too airbrushed and they really lack that definition and sharpness, then it may be time to rethink what you are blending out. Before blending, do study your subject and identify the hard edges and details that need to be crisp, so that you don't overblend these areas and you make sure that you spend that extra time after blending keeping these details nice and sharp. Identifying the soft and hard edges before blending will just ensure that you are being more intentional about what areas you are blending out. The next don't is to ignore the importance of the right paper. For example, if you want to do a really smooth portrait, then it will be hard to achieve that smooth shading that you want if you are using a really rough textured paper. Your blending tools won't be able to give you a really soft result if you're not drawing on the appropriate paper. So make sure you do use a paper that's designed for pencil drawing. Smooth Bristol paper is great for getting soft blending really easily and will help your blending tools be able to produce their best results possible. A really common blending mistake is trying to blend when you haven't done enough layers of shading yet. Your blending tools will only be able to give you good results if you have enough layers of shading on the paper to work with. If your pencil strokes are too far apart or there isn't enough coverage on the paper, it will be really hard to blend and fill in all of the white grain of the paper, whilst also removing all the visible appearance of those pencil stroke lines. Do keep your pencil strokes nice and close together and overlap your pencil shading by working in multiple layers and by shading in different directions. The more shading you have on the paper, the easier it will be to get that really smooth blending. Also, don't limit yourself to just blending once, because doing just one layer of shading and blending only once before moving on could leave you with a really grainy finish, and your individual pencil markings could still be pretty visible. So if you do need to get smoother results after your first time blending, then do repeat the shading and blending process multiple times until you get the smooth result you desire. Often your shading will get smoother and smoother with each layer of shading and blending you do. So just keep working on an area until you're happy with the result. The final don't is blending with too much pressure. If you press too hard on your blending stump or finger when you blend, then you can actually damage the fibers of your drawing paper, and that could cause problems if you want to do more shading after you've blended, or if you want to use an eraser to erase your shading and remove any mistakes. So instead, blend as lightly as possible. Be very gentle when you blend. You should be able to get great blending results very easily and with very little pressure if you have added enough layers of shading before you blend. Now, fixing your blending technique is just one way to improve your drawings. I recommend downloading my free guide, 10 Steps to Better Artwork, where I show you the step-by-step process you can take to fix your drawing mistakes and be able to confidently approach any drawing you want. I'll leave a link to the guide at the top of the description and in a card up above, so make sure to check it out, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye everybody.